it's a shame.
These guys are crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. Like, I knew a few of our friends. Like, I don't know if they want us mentioning their names, but like, yeah, you know a few of them who went here and they went to the American University of Sharjah and like participated in a lot of weightlifting competitions and everything like that. But because of their nationalities, like they were just never picked up,
Yeah.
given a chance. I'm sure some of them, Yani Shabab, they would have been really like good representatives of their countries at the Olympics.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, like, if the problem is, I think if you live abroad and uh, you do stuff and you progress, but you can your country doesn't know about you because you're not in your country and you don't have the actual recognition. So uh, the, and the country you're in doesn't want you representing it. Therefore, I think it's just like it's sad because you're doing something and you're actually good at it, but you can't get the
Yeah.
actual recognition about for it because you're no one knows of you.
Mm.
So
And
it's
that's true.
like I'm pretty sure
It is
there
a
was,
shame.
yeah, like I'm pretty sure whether it was in any field, whether it was sports, music, art, whatever. Um, you can't represent the country you're living in unless it's your country or you
Yeah.
or you have a passport of that country. Then yes,
Right.
but if you're just a resident, then I mean with no passport, then it's unfair and unjust, but uh,
I
it
mean,
happens.
it is what it is. Like you
Yeah,
need to, when in Rome, you got to live by the rules. It is what it is. But
yeah,
that's where, like countries like in the West, I'm not really sure how it works further east, but in the West at least, whether it's Europe, Canada, America, that's what they're awesome at. Is that they recognize talent, they recognize potential, and they have no problem saying, okay, we want the cream of the crop, yani, but ahsan shi,
yeah,
the
yeah.
best.
I mean,
And then they integrate you into society. Like, hey man, you want to be the best? We'll let you be the best, but you're one of us now, yani. We don't care where you came from, but now yani, khalas, you belong here.
yeah,
So that's why you see like all these different like ethnicities and nationalities that are part of like the
like look
Canadian
at
team, the
look at
U.S. team.
look at the French team, for example. They're all mainly Africans. The French football team, I'm
Correct.
talking. So
Yeah.
it 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 happens, but here it happens. But the thing is, like, um, in sports, each country has its own regulations. Like, for example, I didn't know about this, even though I am a Real Madrid follower.
Mm.
But I didn't know this. I've been watching this since like 1998, the team, and I didn't know that in La Liga in Spain, the football team cannot have uh, the numbers of the players can't be has to be from 1 to 25. You cannot go beyond that. So like
Okay.
now what brought this subject up is because Sergio Ramos
Mm-hmm.
left Real Madrid and he was number 4, and he went to PSG and they brought another player and they gave him the number 4. So a lot of fans are going crazy because the Sergio Ramos was there for 16 years, and how come you just bring someone and just give him the number? But then
Yeah.
the regulation of the football association demands that the numbers has to be 1 to 25, and all the numbers are used except 4. So this player had to take number 4. So it's
But
it's just different. Like here, for example, they can take
but what
someone
does
who's
that? Well, what does that have to do with the
no, I meant like
nationality?
no. I'm talking about like the regulations on sports. Like here, for example, yes, with nationalities, uh, in Spain,
Yeah, because that's our main
yeah,
concern. Like
yeah,
we're saying that everyone gets shit on over here, but or not recognized. Whereas
like
like Europe and other places, they take people.
for example, now Gareth Bale, he has to go back to
Yeah.
what is it called, Real Madrid, but his return caused a lot of problems because in the Spanish Federation or the Football Association, they demand that only 3 foreigners per uh, team as in non-EU countries. And because Gareth Bale is from Wales, so Brexit happened, he's no longer from the EU. That caused a lot of problems, even though he's talented and so on and so on. It's just he's not part of the EU anymore, although UK is in Europe. But regardless, this is a political statement. Now, a political thing,
But
sorry. Now here, they
yeah, but
do,
that's more of like the the rules of the federation
yeah,
itself. It has nothing to do with like we're talking about being recognized in the country.
yeah,
Like
but
if you want to be, we're not talking about like a league in like soccer or anything. We're talking about being an Olympic representative of a country. That has nothing to do with like the regulations of what Real Madrid is or
I get you. I get
whatever La Liga
Yeah, I know
or
the I went out a little bit out of subject, but like here, for
yeah.
example, I think um, I think they just like they want to promote themselves first because like they're trying to give a chance to their actual people to do something because if they just bring people from outside, and I mean not people from outside, the residents here or the expats, they're not gonna
Mm.
have anyone else doing because technically they want their own people to do something like whether it's weightlifting or football or whatever. Unless you are like very talented, then they give you the chance to become to represent them. But they have this thing where it's like uh, it's like the Germans, for example, in football, for example, the same story. Their their
Hmm.
their their team they have in their national the league they have like out of 25 players they have 24 Germans and maybe one non-German. It's they want to
Yeah.
give their own people a chance before getting someone from outside to do something. This is I think this is what they want to do, and it's 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 good for them. At the same time, it's uh, I mean sad for the people who are actually trying but don't get the chance, whether it's representing this country or representing their own country or whatever.
I mean, if someone's good enough, I think their own country will pick them up because, like, that's the same thing that happened in the World Cup with the U.S. I knew that some of the players were, uh, like, they had German passports and they were actual German citizens, but they chose to represent the U.S. in the World Cup, and
Yeah.
that was one of the guys. So I'm not really sure how the Olympics happen, or like the things that go into like if like if, let's say a Tunisian guy lives here, if Tunis will actually look outwards towards these other countries or Tunisians in other countries to see if they want to represent Tunis. I assume if you're a javelin thrower who goes to all the javelin events, I think they might have an eye on you,
Yeah.
their committees or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, you make a point that they want to represent themselves, but at the same time, you're relying on a very small pool of people and talent, which is why I'm saying like these European countries, and America and Canada, all these other places, okay, they want to represent themselves, which is why they bring these other people. It's like, okay, now you are an American,
Yeah.
now you are whatever. And then when like it doesn't matter where you were from, خلاص, you're now American. So and in a sense they end up representing themselves. But yeah, it's a different culture, a different like mindset. Who knows? But reality is it severely hampers their talent and ability at going